I was introduced into the world of PC gaming when Fortnite was on the rise. Back then, I only had a Samsung J7 and Twitch to watch all the biggest streamers and everyone else play this game. This was also before it was on mobile, so I had no way to possibly play this game. I was dirt poor, to say the least. So instead of risking getting a virus on my Android, I took my talents to mobile FPS games. I played games like Critical Ops, Forward Assault, Bullet Force, The Respawnables, including Fortnite mobile copies. Basically, any game that had building or shooting in, I played. The more games I played, the better I wanted to get, and the deeper I fell into the mobile FPS community. I began making content, playing with clans, and overall having a great time. But there was something bugging me. Around the time the game finally released, I still had a basic Android. Fortnite is a graphically intensive game, but my phone didn't meet the requirement. That's when I noticed I wanted more. I wanted a better device to play whatever game I wanted. Remember that for now. But that opportunity never came. Fast forward, and I finally got my hands on a family member's console, and like anyone at that time, I was darting to get my first ever victory royale. I stayed up all night, and when it finally came, it was exhilarating. No kid should ever be that over happy, but I understand when people say Fortnite is addicting, and I wanted to experience that once again if I didn't stay up until 3 a.m. That feeling stayed with me for a while until my biggest concern became if I would even have a place to play that game. I stayed with my sister for a while, and in my barren room, she asked me would I rather have a laptop or a bed. That's like asking a kid if they would rather have Robux or shoes. You're picking Robux every single time. She still ended up giving me the bed. While I never saw the laptop, it didn't matter to me because I had my phone. Slowly over time, my room began to feel like mine, and on Christmas Day, I was surprised with a used PS4 Slim. Her boyfriend was kind enough to lend me three starting games: 2K, Dark Souls, and BO4. While I didn't like sports games and I didn't understand Dark Souls, I thoroughly enjoyed BO4 to the point where I wanted to get better. So I learned how to play Claw, I got control freaks, and practice overall. And I got pretty decent, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to be great. This led me to find ways to perform better. I tried to play mouse and keyboard on a PS4 Slim, but the delay was too bad. I tried to check to see if my 60Hz TV had anything higher. Nothing cracked until I played Fortnite on the PS4 Pro and I realized how much of a big difference these two consoles have. I can't even explain it, but when I went back to playing the PS4 Slim, the experience dwindled in comparison with the PS4 Pro. I don't want to put all gamers in a box, but I myself have had a fair share of mistreatment to my gaming items. Eventually, I realized that all that induced rage was caused by me not being able to manage my emotions and also being limited. I hate being limited. Simply losing for any reason, like I wasn't fast enough or the person on the other side has a better setup than me, caused me to want more. I couldn't sit with that for a while because once again, my biggest concern wasn't playing games. It was making sure I had an education and I had a place to stay. I finished with a couple scholarships and one of them was $500 cash. I still didn't have the best living situation, but you can only imagine what someone with nothing would do when suddenly given a lot. I bought my first gaming setup. It was cheaper to build from scratch, and as a tech enthusiast, I wanted a challenge. If I remember, it was a GTX 1050 or 1070 and a Ryzen 5 3600, which is not too far out of lines considering today's PC hardware market. It didn't hit me immediately, but when I finally finished building the PC, it felt like I unlocked the world of gaming peripherals and the benefits of PC gaming. Little to say, but I was happy I bought the computer. The moments I spent playing with friends, enjoying games that I never thought I'd play, and getting better at games that I love brought me so much joy, and I was primed. I felt like I plateaued and I could never get better than this until I delved deep into the world of PC gaming hardware. I went down the rabbit hole of watching YouTubers create insane gaming builds and those same gamers playing at the highest level with those specifications. I wanted a slice of that pie. That dream was so far out of reach because I didn't have much capital until I became familiar with the concept of stability and adult money. At some point, I obtained a job that allowed me to fund my hobbies, and for the first time, it was great to afford all the things that I couldn't when I was younger. But with that came financial irresponsibility. My priorities, like things I needed versus things I wanted, were skewered. Questions like should I upgrade to AM5 or buy new clothes weighed my mind. And sometimes they would win, but I would still be happy at the end of the day because in my mind I had spare money. But little did I know, It had almost been a year and I had nothing to show for it except my gaming setup. I have a girlfriend, I have an apartment, I have furniture, but I didn't have any savings. I didn't have enough money to go out and do the things I wanted to do, and I still barely had any clothes for the New Year's. For once in my life, I had to sit with the consequences of my own actions because I wanted the best for myself, but what I didn't realize is the best for me was being responsible with the money that I was given. I ended up buying things that I deserved because I worked hard to get to where I am today. But what I deserved was to be stable, and I wasn't allowing myself that. I wish I had addressed this sooner because I would have saved a lot more and worried a lot less. Limits don't really exist. The real goal is learning how to live within your means. The real limitation was never money, it was mindset. Maybe my brain didn't fully grow, or I wanted to give the kid who thought he had nothing everything, but I ended up neglecting my own self sustainability, and it costed me a lot. I want to change. I'm going to take the steps that I need to build a platform that I've always wanted by living within my means. And that brings us to today. I'm sitting here with the setup born from my impulsive purchases. So let me show you what those decisions got me. Starting with the Wooting 80HE, known for being one of the best keyboards on the market, I personally liked the sound profile and how hefty it was. And before I had that, I had an Apex Mini Pro that lasted me a good while, but eventually I thought it was slowing me down. Next is the Razer Viper V3 Pro, and you wouldn't believe how many Razer Basilisk mouse I've had before this one, but I really like it. I went through a bunch of glass mouse pad textures and eventually decided to go with glass because it felt more freeing, but I was considering getting a artesian mouse pad. Probably my favorite purchase were these $20 IEMs. Before I have these over-the-ear headphones and also some Astro A50s, but switched to IEMs when I realized how important sound is when playing video games. For the monitor, I went with one of ASUS's 240Hz WOLED monitors, which professionals love using high refresh rate monitors, but I personally love this monitor just for how beautiful the quality is. Last but not least, the PC. While the specifications aren't killer, it's perfect for me. I'm rocking the 9070 XT with the Ryzen 7700X. And I honestly have been debating whether or not I should upgrade the CPU or not, but for a 10% performance increase for $300, it's honestly not worth it. I'd rather put more into the aesthetics. Thanks for watching. If you have any similar experiences, feel free to comment below.